Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're sitting comfortably and I hope you're ready for another Sims 4 speed build. Now for those of you who don't know, I like building in The Sims 4, so if that's something you'd like to see, then please stick around, let me know what you think and maybe check out some of my other videos. But anyway, on with today's video. So today, I thought I'd flex my creative muscles a bit. After making a starter home using the new snowy escape stuff in my last video, I really wanted to use my creativity a bit more, so I didn't want to have a budget. I wanted to go a bit bigger, a bit more ambitious with the build that I was going for this time. So I've decided to go for an onsen, but I didn't just want to go for like a standard onsen. I wanted to give it like a special something, so I've decided to mix it with a spa. So it's not really a full-on spa, but I have used quite a few items from Spa Day. So it's got things like the yoga mats and the meditation seat things and massage tables, so it has got a bit of a mixture. I have uploaded this build twice to the gallery as well, so one of them I've called Onsen and Spa and the other one I've called Spa and Onsen, and I just thought by doing that hopefully people who are looking for either a spa or an onsen will have more chance of finding it, because I've uploaded one as a spa lot type and one as an onsen lot type, so I just thought it's a better way of reaching more people really. But I do have to point out, if you're using this as an onsen, I found that the Sims tend to just ignore all of the other items. They'll just head straight to the showers and then straight to the pools of water at the back. But if you used it as a spa, I don't think people used the onsen pools. If they did, it wasn't as much, but they use more of the entire build. So the good news is this only uses items from those two packs. So you literally only need Snowy Escape and Spa Day for this build. The bad news is where we can't mix lot types, you kind of have to pick one or the other, which is a bit of a shame. But for me personally, I don't think onsens are the most fun lot to visit, because it's the entire gameplay around an onsen just seems to be have a shower and then go sit in the hot spring. So there's not really much to do. So I just thought I wanted to make something a bit more interactive and worth visiting really, and I'm actually so happy with how this lot turned out. So I do apologise because I know that the footage is really fast in this part, but I do slow it down when we move on to doing the interior of the build. But it just took me a long time to get the outside sorted, and I didn't want this video to go on forever, so I thought I'll speed through this bit. And part of the landscaping as well, I think, is it stop motion? I've basically done a top-down view, so you can just get a quick view of doing the landscaping rather than watch me do the entire thing, because I really wanted the outside of this build to kind of fit in with the world, but I wanted it to look like it was a part of mountains. So it took me a long time to go around like upsizing rocks and stuff. So I did a bit of landscaping at the start, did the rest of the build, and then went back to landscape it, where I then went into debug and used extra rocks and stuff. So I've shown more of the landscaping at the end of the build, just because I think it just made it a bit more interesting to switch it up and go inside first and then go back to the outside, because this is quite a big build, and my last few videos have been smaller builds, and I forgot just how long it takes to A, build a lot this size, and B, sort out all of the speed build side of things. So the problem is I work 9 till 5 and currently I'm working from home, so I spend all of my day on the computer, and then so yeah, with these bigger lots I just find they take up so much time, which although I have a lot of time at the minute because we're in lockdown again, I spend a lot of time on the computer. So I prefer at the minute my playstyle, I prefer just short bursts as opposed to these longer ones. Although I didn't mind this one because it was really giving me a chance to look at all of the new items and really sink my teeth into the new pack. And I do actually really like all of the new items. I feel like with the expansion packs of Sims 4, I feel like this is a lot of people's thinking, but I feel like the worlds and the build and buy mode are always like spot on, but the gameplay and live mode, there's just nothing that holds my interest or makes me want to keep playing. Like I'll play it and I'm like, oh, I feel like you can see all of the features in one sitting, and then you don't really have any reason to keep going back to it. And that's why my favourite packs are, I feel like a lot of people's favourite packs are probably the same as mine, but like Seasons and I like Get Together is one of my favourite ones, just because I feel like they add a lot to the entire game rather than just like an isolated world. But yeah, anyway, I really do like the items, and I think whoever's in charge of like build and buy mode, they are doing a fantastic job. But the items in this pack I think do really go well with the Spa Day ones, and you can really mix them. So if you don't have many packs and Snowy Escape is maybe your first pack, I would say Spa Day is a really good pack to get to go along with Snowy Escape, not only because the items look good together, but they do play well together with the whole Spa and Onsen thing. But maybe I'm biased because Spa Day is another one of my favourites. But yeah, looking at the build, because I've skipped a bit here, so you haven't seen the reception area being built, but I have included that at the fly-through at the end. But basically we're looking at now to the left as you walk into the entrance. So this build's kind of split into two towers, and on the right hand side you've got the changing rooms, and then above that you've got like the massage room, and above that you've got the meditation room. But to get to all these rooms you have to go to the left of the build, which is where the stairways are, and in with the stairways is basically some little areas to sit and chill out really. So yeah, that's just like a brief overview of the general layout of the build. I've tried to use split leveling as much as I can in like various rooms. So here you can just see like the little sunken down seating area, but I know that platforms aren't perfect yet and they're quite glitchy. But something that happened to me when I was building this one, which I'm not sure if I've seen anyone else experience this, but there was the room above this one, when I was doing the split leveling, it was every time I was building a wall, it was raising the platform by like one level each time, so I couldn't make any changes without having to like delete all the platforms and redo it all. So that was really, really frustrating, and I had to cut out a big chunk of the build just because I had to try and sort out what was going wrong with that room. And I'm not sure if it was something that I done or if it was just a bug, because it is quite buggy still. But yeah, hopefully, in a way I hope it was a bug and not me, because I have no idea what I was doing. But hopefully if it is a bug that gets patched out soon, because that was really quite annoying. But yeah, you can see I'm putting this bamboo and the candles everywhere, so they are like the staple of this build. As soon as I started putting them down, I was like, yep, I like this. I've loved this ever since Spa Day was out. I've loved using the candles and the bamboo, and I just think they go so nicely with the new like windows and everything. So yeah, they pop up quite a lot throughout the build. But yeah, so I was saying earlier about how time consuming like the larger builds are, so I am thinking of doing a smaller one next, but I saw that the next Spark challenge is like a wintry Christmas themed. I think the theme was like what you expect to see inside a snow globe or something. So I've already started having some ideas for that, but I didn't want to go crazy and go overboard, because I did enter the Spark challenge for Golden Age and I built a massive mansion, and this is before I started doing the speed build, so I don't have a speed build of it. But that build took me ages, and it did get quite a few downloads, but it didn't reach like the top 100 or whatever. But that is on my gallery page, and I'd recommend checking that one out because I'm quite happy with that one. But yeah, I think my next build may be the Spark Challenge one. I am really going to have to limit myself on it though, because I do prefer the smaller videos. But we'll see, it'll probably turn out to be like an absolutely massive mansion or something, who knows. It does make me wonder though, I wonder if EA are going to release another update to like the Christmas items, like the free items that we get. Just because I don't know what it is, but I feel like with every single Sims game, I know that like they have Christmas, or it's not called Christmas, it's called like winter holiday or something, isn't it? But I know that they have Christmas in the game, but I feel like there's always something missing, and I can't really tell what it is, because they have Father Christmas. But I don't know, maybe my expectations are just too high, but I don't really know what I expect. But then again, at this point, I feel like my expectations for The Sims 4 in general are just a bit too high. I feel like there's certain things that other people have been really pushing for, which don't really bother me too much. Like, I know that improved babies is a big one right now, but for me, I've missed the entire time, I've missed the little things like burglars and the firemen, which I know firemen are in it now, but I just feel like all the little services and the quirky things that happen are what make The Sims so good. And I feel like by not having like burglars in the game still, it just feels like it's missing something. And cars, I know that, like, I don't really know how they would implement cars at this point, because so many of the lots aren't actually on roads and stuff, so I don't know how they would work it. But I miss, like, if there's a fire, I miss the fire engine pulling up, and like going to work, I miss there being a carpool, and then as your sim gets better at their job and stuff, they get better vehicles arriving. Like, I remember in Sims 2 when they'd be picked up in a helicopter to go to work, and I feel like stuff like that is what this game is missing, just like the little features, really. But I know that I'm not alone in thinking that, and there's a lot of people who think the same, so I'm not just going to keep going on and on about how I think this game could be improved, because I do still really love this game, especially build and buy mode, and they are actually updating it fairly consistently now. Like, I see a lot of people moan about how long it takes to implement things, but I'm very aware that, like, things take time, and I feel like they can't tell us when they're working on certain features. But things like the platform tool, just general improvements to build and buy mode that have happened over the years, and they don't tell us that they're coming. So that kind of gives me faith for the future of The Sims 4. Like with the latest sentiments and lifestyle additions, that is also a big improvement, I think, that it's heading in the right direction-ish, but I do still think there's improvements that they could make with like expansion packs, because they just do not feel the same as in the old games. Because I remember in The Sims 1, 2 and 3 basically when you got a new expansion pack, it just felt like it opened up a whole new, I was going to say world, but that doesn't sound right, because these add new worlds, but they don't add enough to the general Sims 4 world. Sims 4 universe, I should probably say. Like, I feel like there's so much room for improvement in the expansion packs, and it really makes me wonder, because I know that Snowy Escape was made as a result of an old community survey that they did, and I remember there was also a survey where they asked whether people would like to see like improvements or expansions on certain packs that have already been released. Now, I don't know what they meant by that, if they meant we can release more packs that are related to other packs, such as My First Pet stuff, because I really don't think that would go down well. But if they mean like free updates, I think that would be such a good idea, just to help breathe new life into all the packs that have been released. Well, maybe not all, that's probably a big ask, is to ask them to like revamp every pack. That is too much. But I feel like there's several packs where they could definitely improve upon what's already there. Like Dine Out, for example. I remember in The Sims 2 Nightlife when they added like restaurants were included in that pack, and a big part of that was interactions that you could do at the dinner table. Like, they added so many interactions, like you could propose and just general different things like that, and that's all not included in this one. So I feel like if they were to improve on, say, Dine Out, they could improve on like the whole dining out experience. So like all of the base is there, like the function of the restaurant is there, but it just needs something to give it a bit more like real life feeling of being in a restaurant. Like if they could release an update where Sims would actually sit at their table and act how they're supposed to act, I feel like that would just change the game so much, and they need to focus on things like that rather than just bring out new packs that keep adding like really shallow gameplay to the game without actually improving the core substance of the game. But anyway, I've got distracted again by just moaning about how I feel like the game could be improved, but I don't see it as moaning, I see it as constructive criticism, because like I said, I do still like this game. But back to the build, so hopefully the speed's a bit more of a bearable pace now. I have slowed it down from the start of this video where we were absolutely flying, but hopefully you've stuck with me. But yeah, so we've got the ground floor sorted now, so we're just moving up to the second floor. And this was the room which I had all the problems with the platforms, because there's quite a few different levels going on here. I know it doesn't look like it, but you've got this bit is lower down, then the main walkway is on its own level, then there's a step up to get out of the door, and then there's another platform where the bamboo is in the corner. And then moving on to this outside walkway section in between the two towers, there's even more split leveling going on. And I feel like this doesn't really make much sense, to be honest, in that Sims have to walk outside to get from one part of the build to another, which would make more sense in a pack that isn't called Snowy Escape. But I kind of got around that by explaining to myself that this part of the world isn't at the top of the mountain, so this bit isn't as cold, so that's how it made sense in my head. But this lot does actually look good as well, at the not the very peak of the mountain, but there's that lot which is just kind of like empty trees and stuff that's all snowy. This does look good on that lot as well, but obviously if you're looking at it from like a realistic perspective, I don't really know how well this would work in real life, just because you do have to go outside, so it probably wouldn't be the nicest spa. But I would go here. If I saw this place in real life, I'd think it was quite a cool place to go and chill out for the day. Especially the bit at the back. I was really pleased with how the area with the 2 pools turned out, because I started putting the rocks around them, then after I built it I was thinking, oh, I didn't actually think to check beforehand if Sims would carry on using the pools if there were like items and rocks kind of clipping into them, but luckily they do, and they work completely fine, so I'm really happy. But yeah, we're moving on to, this is like the massage room of the build, and I really wanted to make this look a bit more interesting than just a square room, so it's kind of got the stairs leading down. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to put in here at first, but in the end, with the way that I lay the walls out, there wasn't really enough room to keep the 2 chairs like comfortably, so I actually put the chair outside on the little balcony bit. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I've probably mentioned how when I watch these speed builds back, I always look at things and think, oh, I could have done this different, or I could have added this to the build to make it better. And with this one, I kind of wish I added more spa items, and I'm looking at it thinking I could maybe have somewhere put stairs going down underground into like a basement area. And down there I could have just had like the mud baths and the steam rooms and sauna and stuff, but maybe that would have been a bit too much. What I quite like about this one is how it's like half a spa mixed with an onsen, so you could have this as like a half spa, and then you could also have like a full-on proper spa somewhere else in the world. But I'm just sitting here trying to think, I'm not sure if I've seen much speculation about what the next pack's going to be. I know it's like this pack's only just come out, but it's like an ongoing thing that as soon as a pack comes out, you always have to start wondering what the next one's going to be. And normally I feel like there's a lot of speculation, but I don't think I've seen any recently, unless I'm just not up to date on my Sims news. But for me, I know that there was a lot of speculation about a farm pack recently. I think it was before, was it Eco Lifestyle? Just before that, everyone thought it was going to be a farm pack. And that is something that I've wanted since like The Sims 1, and I keep thinking that they're going to add it with every game. And I remember Sims 3 adding horses, and at that point I was thinking, surely they've got to do like a full-on farm pack. And I know that there were chickens that you could download for Sims 3, and I'm not sure if there were anything else. But as far as I'm aware, the only farm animals we've really got are horses and chickens. But I think that's definitely like a viable option of things that they could add, because I'm just trying to think of ideas of what else they could do with packs. And I feel like another idea that I've always had is like theme parks, but I'm not sure how much gameplay you could get out of that. Maybe that would be more of a game pack. But I remember Sims 1 Making Magic had like the little roller coasters where you could make your sim go round, and they're like single carriage, and that was quite funny. I think it'd be funny if they introduce something like that again. But yeah, I don't know. There's obviously been so many packs for The Sims 4 already, and they've done all of like the major ones. Obviously Generations would be a good one. I have seen people asking for that actually, like a pack like Generations or The Sims 2 Free Time one, just where they just add like loads of random hobby items. I would love a pack like that, just because it would kind of expand on everything your Sims can do in everyday life. Because getting like new skins of items is nice, but we have so many chairs and things like that. It's just nice to get actual new gameplay items, and I think just having an expansion pack rather than focusing on a new world, if they were to put that into new animations and items, I think that would go a long way. But yeah, I've been trying to think of like new build challenges that I could try doing, just because it's always fun to like try something a bit different. And I've had an idea, because I saw people have done like the 10-minute build videos, and when I watch them I always think like I could do this easy, and I gave it a go the other day but I didn't record it, and it turned out so bad, so I might give it a proper go and see how it comes out. But yeah, it was way more difficult than I was expecting, but it did kind of give me an idea for something that I may do, just because it would be a nice quick option as well, is like a 10-minute expanding build challenge. And what I'm thinking is I could do like a 10-minute build that's just for one sim, and that would be one video, and then I can move on to the next stage, which would be another 10 minutes where I get to expand on that original build but make it for 2 sims. And my thoughts are I could do that up to like a 6 sim household, and then that would be a nice 60 minutes of videos. Like, they wouldn't just be one 60-minute video, because that would just be crazy, but I think that would be like a nice little expanding build challenge series. I just thought it was quite a neat idea, so if that's something you'd like to see, then let me know in the comments. I'm probably going to do it, to be honest, but it'd just be nice to know if that sounds like a good idea to other people, or if it's been done before. I don't think I've seen it been done before, but it'd be really weird if I've just come up with an idea that's already been done. But another thing that I've seen is like the alphabet build challenge, which I think does sound really fun, and I'd love to give it a go, but how many letters are there in the alphabet? Is there like 25 letters or something? No, I think it's 26, so that would be 26 builds, and that's quite a big commitment, and if people aren't really feeling it, that's a lot of videos that people won't really care about, so I don't know. I may give it a go, but I've seen a few of Deligracy's and they were really good, and I think she's already done it so well. Is there any point in me trying it? But I may do. Watch this space, or maybe give me some ideas of build challenges, because I know that there's loads out there, so I just want as many ideas as possible for things to build. But I think the Spark challenge with the snow globe thing will be a good start. So I have been getting into the Christmas spirit already. So I live with my parents and my sister, and we started to put our Christmas decorations up today. We're going to finish doing them tomorrow. But we've got basically we had 2 Christmas trees basically. So we've got our Christmas tree, and we've got another one that we lent to my brother, and he didn't want it this year, so we've taken it back. So we've got a Christmas tree in the lounge and a Christmas tree in the kitchen. So it's a little bit extra. And to be honest, by the time we've actually built the tree, I can then never be bothered to put the decorations on it. Like, I'll sit down and I'll think, yeah, I'll do it in a minute, and then it's just kind of stressful. So we said we've got 2 trees to do this year. So we've built the trees, and then tomorrow we've put the lights on them, and then tomorrow we'll do the decorating and like the fun part. It's a bit like a Sims build. We've done like the outer shell, which is like the more stressful part, and then we've left like the nice decorating part for tomorrow, so hopefully tomorrow should be nice. But yeah, so that's getting me into the Christmas spirit, so I think doing the Spark challenge will be another good way to get into the Christmas spirit. I'm not sure when the deadline is, but if it's a few weeks away, I might do something else in the meantime. I may do another starter home maybe, or maybe the 10-minute build challenge, I don't know. But yeah, I have got a very clear idea in my head for what I want to do with the Sparked challenge, and I don't want to say it because I don't want anyone else to steal it, but I feel like if I look on the gallery, it's probably already been done like 1,000 times, but I like to think, oh yeah, I've just had the best idea and no one else will think of this. But yeah, going back to the build now, so we're moving on to the final room, which is probably the most simple room. It's just like a big empty space with some meditation stool things. I don't really know what they're called. And some candles and plants around the edge. And this doesn't look very like exciting from this view, but when I do the fly through at the end, I was looking at it thinking this room actually looks really cool, because I've put those doors looking outside, so it's just like a big open room at the top of the build. It's not safe at all. Like, in real life this would pass no health and safety regulations, but in the game I think it looks really cool. And another little feature that I didn't know existed was the ability to change the colour of all candles on the lot, and I think I did that by mistake, and then I actually ended up liking how it looked more, because I kind of turned them a more orangey tone, and it just gave the whole lot like a really warm feeling. And I originally only did it with a few candles, and then I clicked it on the wrong one, and I was like, oh no, I'll just leave it how it is, and it actually turned out looking quite nice. And then I couldn't decide whether I preferred the look of this lot at daytime or nighttime, because I thought I was building it in the day, and then when I changed it all to night, I was like, oh, this actually looks really nice, so I don't know what to use for like the thumbnail or the fly through, so I've done a bit of both. I have just seen that I'm putting some speakers down there, and I originally used the wrong speaker, so I thought it was like the brown wood effect speakers that played the spa music, but I was wrong. So I went in and there was all this like pop music playing through the whole thing, and I was thinking, why is this playing? And then I realised it's the white speaker that plays the spa music, and I have got rid of most of the speakers. I didn't realise that I left one like pop music speaker in the reception, so if you download this from the gallery, you'll probably look at most of the build and think, oh, what a nice chilled vibe this place has got, and then you'll just see everyone having like a rave in the reception. But I did say I wanted something different, so there you go, you've got a spa which plays pop music, you can have a little disco while you're having your massage. But yeah, that's pretty much the build itself sorted, so I'm just moving on to the outside, adding the finishing touches. So I've added like the little seating area, I'm just shifting some of the doors around and adding a few more plants in just to make it look a bit nicer. And then now we're just moving back onto the landscaping. So I was looking at the rocks thinking, I'm happy with how the rocks looked, but it just looked like it was missing something, so I thought it's time to go into debug. And I was just looking for stuff just to make it look a bit more realistic and full of life. But yeah, I was saying earlier that this pack only needs Snowy Escape and Spa Day, and when I uploaded this to the gallery, it said this lot requires Get Together and Island Living. I was thinking, why does it need those packs? And it turns out that I accidentally used Island Living stairs inside the build at one point, so I just had to change those, and that was simple enough. But then finding what I'd accidentally used from Get Together was an absolute nightmare, because I was deleting so much stuff. I basically looked at the entire build and was like, I can't see any Get Together items in here. So then I started deleting like masses of items at a time and then re-uploading it and then seeing what items it said it used, and then I managed to like whittle it down to a certain area of where the item was, but I couldn't find what item it was. And then after absolutely ages, I found that there was an option where you can actually see what items from the pack it uses, and it was like a climbing vine plant thing that goes up the wall that I'd put on the side of the foundation, and then I'd covered it in rock, so I literally couldn't see it, and that's why I had no idea what item I'd used, is because you literally couldn't see it. But that's gone now, so yeah. Like I said, this is fully available on the gallery. You can download it as a spa or an onsen, and you only need Snowy Escape and Spa Day, and that is the build complete. So if we just move on to the fly through now, so here you can get a really good wide shot of the entire build, so you can get the two big towers, the nice big stairway leading up, the birds flying over, flying through the walls and everything. Here we've got the two pools, natural pools, surrounded by candles, flowing water, greenery. And then if you just look at the top of the stairs, in the middle of the bamboo, there's a window. This is inside that window, and then this is a reception area that I said about earlier. I really love this reception actually. It's a shame because the recording of this actually failed, which is why I didn't include it in the video. But yeah, if you download this, just know that the reception area is probably my favourite room of the whole build, which is a bit weird because you'd think for a community lot the reception area is probably like the most boring, but I just thought it was cool. And here you can see those like orange candles. I just think they look so cozy, so warm. And then you've got the incense stick on the table just to get your Sims emotions in gear. So here we've got the nice little massage area. It looks a bit weird here actually, but I think it looks better in the game. It's probably just not the best view. I think this angle looks better. Here you can get a really good sense of like the space with the stairs coming down behind that half wall. And here's the really cool open meditation area that I was saying about earlier. Just don't walk out the doors. And then here we've just got the monkey statues ready to greet your Sims as they walk up to their little spa day break. Then here we've just got the night view of the front because I couldn't decide which one I prefer. Let me know which you prefer. I think they both look really cool. And then just one last shot showing each level of the outside walkways around the back of the build. And there we have it. That is everything for today's build. So thank you and well done for managing to sit through half an hour of me talking absolute rubbish. Please let me know what you thought of the build. Maybe give it a like or a comment down below. And feel free to subscribe or check out my other videos as well. I'd love to know what you think. But whatever you do with the rest of your day, I hope it's a good one. And I'll catch you all next time.